Hello, Parrot Army. How are we doing tonight, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Bucs Report Show. I'm excited about tonight. Very much excited about tonight. We've got lots to cover, all kinds of goodies to go over, and good news, some fun news that we've got going on here at Bucs Report. We got all kinds of goodies here. I'm excited about tonight's show. So, guys, the Bucs news has been a little bit quiet. All's been quiet on the Bucs front, but not the NFL front by any means. So there's a lot to cover. But Tom Brady had a conversation or was interviewed and asked about the change in jersey numbers. Now, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, they've changed the numbers that wide receivers and running backs and different positions can use, including defensive backs. They've changed the numbers that they can use, and Tom Brady's exact quote is that it's going to make for a lot of bad football. He believes that people are not going to know who to block, who to treat as what, because you've got basically a free-for-all with numbers going everywhere. Now, my thought on the process is if you're not professional enough to know who to block, yeah, that's kind of on you, but I get the point. I mean, you're running down the field, you look up, you're not sure. I mean, but to me at that point, by the time you're into the defensive backs, or if one of the defensive backs is running at you, block him. Okay, running at your quarterback, block him. It doesn't matter what their number is. If anybody is running towards you, block them. But I get the general point. That's something that has him a little bit stirred up this week. He even went off on social media, which is unlike him, to be that boisterous about something like this. And he was pretty adamant about it and pretty loud about it. And so I thought that was interesting. He took a pretty big stand, pretty hard, pretty quick. I thought that was interesting. So Parrot Army, I want to talk to you guys now. I call you guys the Parrot Army for a reason. Not only do pirates have parrots, buccaneers, but a parrot army is called a pandemonium. So what do I want you to do? I want you to raise the pandemonium in that chat area right there. I want to see you guys going nuts in that chat. I want to hear from you. I want you guys to start yapping. I do read the comments even when I'm not making reference to them. They do help guide and lead the show along the way. So I want to hear from you. Please be commenting in the chat box. And plus, it lets me know you're out there. So say hello. Give me any questions you might have, and we'll talk from there. But I'm looking forward to a fun night right here on Bucs Report, on the Bucs Report Show. We've got so much coming up here with the Bucs Report. One of the most exciting things, something I want to talk to you guys about, is this. Guys, we have a live draft party that's coming up at Ferg's in St. Pete. I will actually be there. This is on April 29th and 30th, starting at 7 p.m. You guys get there and let's have a good time. There will be lots of great food. There will be lots of great drink and lots of great fun. And that's where I want to see you guys, because I will have plenty of time to mix and mingle and talk with you and hang out with you during the draft on and off camera. You can come on camera while we're there, or you can hang out behind the scenes where we've got a lot of us are going to be there. at least on Friday, we've got 4 of us going to be there. I believe Thursday is going to be Ray Kennedy, Harry the Greek, and me. We'll all be there with Joshua Cole Allen actually at the draft party at the stadium. He'll be bringing us some live updates from there. But Friday, he's going to hop over to Ferg's, and we're all going to have a good time. They're getting fat and happy. That's going to be a good time. I'm excited about that. So Ferg's is going to be the place to be. I'm excited about that. I hear lots of good things. It's sort of a return for the Bucs report, sort of coming home. And from everything I hear, it's going to be pretty awesome. They're building a stage there for us and plugging into the PA system there at Ferg's. And it's apparently quite a place. It's in the shadow of the dome where the Rays are playing, and after the game, all the Rays fans come in there. So it's going to get raucous because there is a game, and it's gonna be fun. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear everything you guys are thinking about. I want to just start talking. I want to hear from you guys. Hopefully we will have Johnny Dean. Hopefully we will have Mike or Matt from Oklahoma. We have Mike already there. Thank you, Mike. How you doing, brother? I know Mike got his butt kicked by the vaccine, apparently. He got his vaccine. Good job, Mike. Only one more to go, and then you'll be good. That's actually your immune system doing its job, so don't look at it like it's a bad thing. But Tim Weatherspoon is out there. How you doing, Tim? Tim, the draft is Thursday night and Friday night. We will be there both nights of the draft, so you want to be there next Thursday and next Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm there are times in when I have a chance to do this stuff, it's rare that I actually get a chance to mix and mingle and interact with a lot of the Bucs Report guys. So I'm very, very excited that I get to meet a lot of you down there at Ferg's. I'm excited that I get to, my first time I'm actually in person going to meet Joshua Cole Allen. I'm excited to meet Ray Kennedy, to be able to spend some time with these guys that I know, I feel like I know, and it's funny when I stop and realize, oh wow, I've actually never met them in person, so it's kind of fun. But that's where we're gonna be. Anyway, let me get that picture off of here. That's where the draft party is gonna be. That's where you're gonna be, right? Joining us at Ferg's. I'm excited about that. And if you've been to Ferg's, start telling me what I need to eat at Ferg's, because you guys know I'm all about the food. I'm all about food. I love me some food. On Saturday nights, I do a show that is called What's Cooking in the South, and Saturday nights at 8:30 Eastern Time. And that's the intersection of food and football, where we talk all about both. And I don't know that there are two things I could like more. Maybe Kate Upton. But in general, there are not things that I think I like more than food and football. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Tim Witherspoon says he's going to try to be there. That would make my night. Tim, I would love to meet you. That would be awesome. Brandon says that their spicy garlic wings are the best. Okay, I'm going to make sure I try those, Brandon. Thanks for the tip. But anyway, onward and upward. Tonight we have some special guests coming in. At 9:15, we have Evan Winter. Evan is, if you guys read content, basically between Evan and Joshua Cole Allen, you get so much written content here on Bucs Report. You get so much info, so much hardcore knowledge from those guys, and they're both coming here tonight. So tonight, get ready, because Joshua is, I call him the draft guru around here. He's the go-to guy. He's rubbing shoulders with these guys. He's actually talking to the guys, to many of the guys who are going to get drafted this coming week. He's actually, speaks to them and has a chance to interview them and talk to them and ask them questions. So Joshua knows a lot about more than I could possibly have time to be able to glean And so it's great to have him on here and get all of that knowledge and all of that expertise. Tonight's going to be a great night. Lots of questions, guys. When it's your turn, I'm going to try and open it up a little more. Maybe have you guys do something a little different. Have you guys interact a little bit with Joshua. That he should be here around 9:30 on audio only. He cannot come on video, but he'll have the opportunity to do that. But Evan is coming on at 9:15. And wow, this show, basically, a long story short, we're going to have a lot of great content, a lot of great information here tonight. I'm excited about that. So I'm looking forward to, there we go. We got Matt Colson there. We got Mike DeRoche. Thank you, my friends. I also want to tell you guys something kind of cool. Guess what came in today? I'm very, very happy. Here you go. My Bucs Report Show mug, talking about the Parrot Army. And it's a very cool mug, and I'm liking this mug. And I'll be drinking my hot tea out of that. And my Cup of Ray mug. I love me some Cup of Ray, the Cup of Ray mug. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. So you guys, if you want one of those, you can get those at bucksreportgear.shop. Whoops. bucksreportgear.shop. It's a cool place where you can get all kinds of gear and just everything from shirts and hats and bandanas and even like pet food bowls and all kinds of things. Golf balls, there's, you name it, there's all kinds of things there, so you don't want to miss it. But right now, special guest coming in. This place is about to get a whole lot smarter with Evan Winter. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Thanks so much for having me on. Sorry for the technical difficulties in the beginning, and I appreciate the getting a whole lot smarter comment. That's like the nicest thing anybody said to me in like the last 30 days. So it works.
Well, it's actually a fact. I mean, it's since you've come on board. I mean, the between with you and Joshua, that's a killer writing team. I mean, that's just, there's so much great content coming in there, and then you sprinkle in the other articles from other people. But you guys are just, it's amazing what I see you guys do. And I learned so much from you. I always laugh because I'm on here talking, but the truth of the matter is the information I get pretty much comes from you guys. So you guys go out, get the information, write it out, and then I come on and sound like I know what I'm talking about. And it's really you guys who know what you're talking about.
Hey, at the end of the day, whatever helps the Bucs Report team look better, hey, we're always down for it. And come on, give yourself some more credit than that, Rick. You're way smarter than you're leaving on.
I'm listen. It's you guys who come up with the info. Now, I for instance, okay, all this information about Brady with the numbers, talking about the numbers on the uniforms and how he's unhappy with, everybody being able to use the different jersey numbers and all of this. Any thoughts on this? Do you think this is a deal? Why is he that upset by it?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. And this is one of the one of the topics I'm going to be more milk toast on more than anything. At the end of the day, I don't really care, about the number change. I do hate the fact that offensive linemen and defensive linemen are left out. I mean, they always get left out of everything.
Right.
So they're probably used to it. But still, it's like, come on, show the big guys some love. How awesome would it be to see Vita Vea wear number 0 or number 1? I mean, that would just be so cool. But this is one of the things, like, I don't really think it matters at the end of the day. Yeah, it's a change. But these guys watch so much film with Tom talking about how it's going to affect the blocking, and all that other stuff. Dude, you watch so much film. You're going to catch on eventually. The first week, it might be an issue, depending on who they play that first week. We'll find out May 12th, obviously. But overall, yeah, I don't – it's just something I don't really care about.
I mean, are they really choosing when they're running downfield who to block based on what their number is? Or are they, okay, this guy's running at the quarterback, but I'm not going to block him because he's number whatever. I mean – If somebody's running at Tom Brady, please block him. I don't care what his number is.
Yeah. And it's like it would be different if they were doing it, changing the numbers week to week, But like the number 7 or the guy who's wearing number 7 in week 1, and I use number 7 for a reason, Leonard Fournette, obviously. But whoever you're playing, let's say you play the Saints again in week 1. whoever's wearing number 7 in week 1 is going to be wearing number 7 in week 10.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, it seemed like he was very energetic in how he was reacting, and it was like, wow, of all the things to really get riled up about. Now I got something.
Whoa, hold on. Just to give him some credit,
Yeah.
he is at like that Nick Saban like level at this point in his career where he can complain about anything, and really at the end of the day, people are just gonna be like, "Yeah, I disagree," but there's not gonna be any hot takes
Right.
around because he's at that level. He's the GOAT. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm not gonna hold anything against him.
Oh no, I don't hold anything against him. It was one of those curious. It was like a curiosity. It was like, that's what got your goat. Sorry.
And, pissed off Brady is always bad news for them.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And I want to bring up Levante David. And yeah, I'm going to bring up the J word. I'm going to bring up Jameis and Levante's comments this week about Jameis and the whole eating the W thing, and how he said flat out that the Bucs were kind of freaked out by that whole thing. Now he also kind of said, look, Jameis he's kind of an emotional guy. He gets hyped up, and it was a little weird. That was weird, but I was surprised that he came out and talked about it. First of all, I'm surprised he took the bait with the question.
Right. Yeah, that was the biggest thing, is that he actually took the bait, and congrats to the host that brought that out. And it's funny how something like week 9 or week 10 of the regular season could still bleed through, but when you spend 5 years of your career, I mean, Levante has spent over half of his career with Jameis Winston. Yeah, that tends. I mean, it can sting a little bit, and it's funny.
Right.
It's funny, and I'm going to bring my own personal grievances into this.
Yeah.
But I caught a bunch of Chiefs fans on Twitter today dogging Devin White because he's still giving the Chiefs a hard time about the Super Bowl loss, and they're calling him an asshole, saying that he's a selfish winner, poor sport, blah 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 blah. And it's like, I mean, dude, he beat y'all in the Super Bowl. Like these things, when it comes to players and their relationships in the game, and how they approach each other within the game, at the end of the day, it's all a brotherhood. Everything is good to go. And I'm kind of rambling here a little bit, but either way, I still think the players do kind of take things like what Jameis Winston did personally. Especially whenever Jameis was definitely not the reason why the Saints won 38.
Well, I mean, but the eating the W's thing that started the year before. And then, I mean, it was an embarrassment then. And Levante said, he knew it was an embarrassment. I mean, Jameis knew that the guys thought it was weird.
Well, look at Deshaun Jackson's face during that entire video. That tells you all you need to.
Right. Well, doing it again, when he did it again, it was specifically to say, y'all think I'm ridiculous? Get a load of this. How do you feel now after that game? So he was really disrespecting the Bucs, which I find funny because look what happened in the long run, and it sort of really sets up for more of a rivalry this year. If Jameis is the starter, I'm assuming he's going to be, which we all know how that works out. When you assume something like that, you're right. 90% of the time you're going to be wrong. What is it? If there's a 50-50 chance, 90% of the time I'll get it wrong.
Well, all I know is assume makes an ass out of you and me. It took me about 20 years to finally figure out how all of a sudden one day I was like, oh, wait, that's what that means. But going back to Jameis, as a fan of self-deprecation, I'm always a fan of that. Right. I think that might have been more of the angle he was taking when he did that, just because I think he knows how ridiculous that looks at the end of the day. It's not like,
but Jameis wasn't the one admitting it. It was Levante David.
I know, but I think when Jameis did it though, I think it was more of a. I think he was in a spot where he can make fun of himself. It's different to do that after a loss. People are going to be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Oh, you mean after the game this time?
Yeah.
After the second time,
I think it was coming from just more of a self-deprecation angle. But either way, Yeah, it was a weird thing for him to do, and like I said, especially after a game in which he had nothing to do with. And
Right.
at the end of the day, though, um, these guys they just like to have fun. So
Yeah. And well, I mean, that's to me that's always been the thing with Jameis is not his physical abilities. It's it's everything here. It's his mouth.
right.
It's the same. He's got Gerald McCoy disease. It's this. Sometimes just don't say what you're thinking.
Yeah, no,
It's
I agree
okay.
100%. Yeah, there are a few times, especially in 2018, where all he would just have to say is, I just got to fix it. I just got to fix it. It's like, okay,
After
man.
every game, he
Yeah,
said the same
exactly. After
thing.
every,
Right.
yeah, I remember because I was at a few of the press conferences, and yeah, it's just like, man, at the same time, just
Right.
say we'll get better as a team, or just move on. So yeah, I hear
Right.
you 100%.
Yeah. I mean, he did admit at a football camp, he said he knew that he went from being a number one pick to being laughed at, and to me, that kind of says a lot about the guy. I mean, I was impressed with what he said at the camp. He was willing to tell them, it doesn't matter. But just when you start thinking, wow, okay, I like what he's saying, I like where he's going, he had to mess up and say, I work harder than anybody else does at my position.
Yeah,
It's just that's so classic Jameis, where it's like
right.
you're doing good, yes, 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 yes. Oh,
No, right,
right.
yeah.
It's the same thing that happened on the field. Drive the ball down the field, throw a pick. I mean, it was always one thing after another. That's what he does. He's doing fantastic, and then it's just, oh man.
Throws to Jesse Bates the second or the third, whatever it was. That Cincinnati interception, that pick six,
Yeah.
was just one that's forever burned in my brain. But yeah, no, it makes total sense. And for the internet trolls out there, the easy response to that is, "Oh, so you're working harder than all the other backups in the league?" I mean, like, it's just it's one of those things where you're absolutely right. It's just like, man, just keep your head down.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do. And the Saints are paying Taysom Hill $16 million this year, or at least that's what his cap hit is, one of the two. Either way, it's a major investment in
Yeah.
2021. There's no guarantee you're getting the starting job. So
Right.
just keep it to yourself, man. The last thing you did in the league, yes, you threw for over 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, but you're also the only quarterback outside of Vinny Testaverde to throw over 30 touchdowns. So, I mean,
Right.
just
Well,
keep-
and he's
keep it
phenomenal,
in.
and I've got to tell you, when it comes to, I know so many Buccaneers fans who look at it and say, "Okay, if Jameis is the quarterback, ha ha ha, we got this," and I'm like,
No, not really.
I mean, yeah.
There's gonna be those games. I would hate to play. I mean, the one snap he came in the playoff game, he threw a damn touchdown pass. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
there are ways to use this guy, and he's an
Right.
extremely talented quarterback. Yeah, so nothing is given with him.
But it just seems like one play after another, after another, after another.
And
He's
yeah,
gonna, it's exactly what I said about him. It's just he'll be doing great, and we'll be sitting there thinking, "Mark my words, it's coming." We're going to be sitting there in a game going, "Oh man, maybe we should have kept him around."
Yeah,
Look at him. Maybe we should have kept. And then fourth quarter comes, and you're gonna. I mean, all the Saints fans are going to be going, "Oh."
Yeah,
I mean,
if you could guarantee me that 90% of his touchdown drives would be 5 plays or less,
right.
I would trade the moon for him all day
Right.
long. You know, if there was some world out there where you could say, "Hey, 5," but anything over 5 plays, the chance for a turnover just increases exponentially.
Well, he seems like he. It seems like he's very. I'm trying to think of the best way to word it. It seems like, yeah, not only does he make the right decisions, but then all of a sudden, I don't know what the heck happens. I mean, where, yeah, 5 plays, but even right at the beginning, it's the first or second play on a drive, he's throwing a pick. That's where all the pick sixes came from. He's throwing, an out pass. It's just one thing after another. You see him do this, putting your defense in a bad position, burying you deep. I mean, it's. I cannot wait to get a pick six against him. That's going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah, no, and I think a lot of it does have to do with how hyped up he gets for games. I mean, we all know he's a passionate person. We all know he's a passionate player, and there, were talks about how he would just be so amped up before a game
Right.
that I think it does play a factor. But at the same time, going into this season, to go ahead and fast forward the conversation to this season, I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get.
Right.
I legitimately think Sean Payton, based off what they're paying Taysom Hill, what they've said about him, how they treated him last year whenever Drew Brees was out,
Right.
I think he's going to be the guy. So we might not see Jameis Winston this year. Now, granted, obviously, if Taysom goes through some 4 or 5 game stretch where, let's say, he throws 2 touchdowns and 8 or 9 picks, 1,000 yards.
Right.
That's a whole different story.
Well,
but right now, man, I honestly think Taysom Hill's it's his job to lose.
Well, the thing I want to point out is he was more than willing to pay Taysom that much money to sit behind Breeze. So why wouldn't he be willing to pay him that much to sit behind someone else? I mean, I think that's why.
But we're also talking Drew Brees to James Winston at the same time. So
but hold on. Drew Brees at the end of his career with who couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards.
Who did throw what, like 28 touchdowns and 7 picks in 2019 or something? Though, the same. I mean, it's not like the guy was Chad Pennington out there or like somebody like that. But no, I totally get what you're
Mark
saying.
Sanchez.
So, at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. Though they have the cap flexibility, they have the flexibility at the position to make a change if they need to. So in that context, you're absolutely right. I agree 100%.
Yeah. No, I think it's the kind of situation when you look at next year, and I mean certainly the Bucs players, fans, everybody's got those 2 games circled. Same thing in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that kind of motivation, that kind of excitement, that kind of energy, that kind of all of that is right there, just bubbling right below the surface, and what. So tell me, give us a sneak peek. What do you have in the works for tomorrow?
So tomorrow, actually, we're going to start a best position fit preview for the draft. So essentially, what are the 5 best fits in terms of players at quarterback for the Bucs in this draft? What are the best 3 to 5 fits for a running back? What are the best 3 to 5 fits for a receiver? So on and so forth.
So it's going to be a series?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
And Josh is going to kick it off tomorrow. We're also going to have the Jimmy Giles news, or Giles, sorry. We're going to have anytime I see G, I just automatically think Giles. But Jimmy Giles, we're going to have that news tomorrow about him announcing the 2nd and 3rd pick in the draft this year for the Bucs.
Awesome.
And then once I'm going to kind of tease everything. I hate to be that corny cliche and tease everything guy.
No, heck no. Sunday, tease away.
Yeah, man. Sunday we're going to have a special countdown. Monday we're going to have mock draft Monday, where it's all the final mock drafts for Bucs Report. All the writers are going to submit their thing. And then throughout the week, we're going to have some more potential trade partners.
Yeah.
We're going to have more countdowns. I mean, dude, this week is going to be absolutely loaded. I cannot wait. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Well, Evan, Tuesday night, Joshua and I are going to have a draft special right here, a live draft special that we're going to be doing. And if you'd like to join us, that would be awesome.
I'll be here 100%. I've already told my wife. I called her earlier today. I said, hey, from here till like next Sunday, I'm booked up. Take the kids, go to a hotel. But I told her though, still at the same time, I'm going to be locked in this vicinity. This 15 by 15 vicinity is my home for the next 7 to 8 days. So I'm definitely down, man, for sure.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for coming here, Evan. I really appreciate it, and I'll be looking forward to that first article tomorrow, and I'll be scooping up all that information so that next Thursday night I don't sound like an idiot. So I'm looking forward to this series.
Sounds good, Rick, man. Talk to you soon. Thanks for having me.
Have a great one. Yep, you got it.
See you, man.
All right, that's awesome. That is Evan Winter. Evan Winter, like I said, writes for the Bucs Report. He's brilliant. He's absolutely amazing. Somebody else who does that, and I told you I'm excited to have him coming on here, is Joshua Cole Allen. And Joshua, I mean, between you and Evan, I'm excited about the information coming on this show tonight. You guys have it all, and you and I have a little special show next Tuesday. Really getting into the weeds on the draft.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Evan does great stuff, and not only is his writing good, he's a great teacher and mentor. He's taught me quite a few things since he's got over here to Bucs Report. So we're definitely lucky to have him for sure. We've
Yeah,
got great stuff planned as he told you, and then for written work, but also live content. Obviously, you just teased it a little bit. Our Tuesday show, I'm working on trying to get some draft experts to come on here and break down some of these prospects we're looking at. But the draft itself at Fergs is going to be amazing. The draft party at Buccaneers at Ray J, I'm excited about. But I'm excited to finally
yeah,
get to meet you in person at
yep.
Fergs on Friday. Guys, make sure you guys get there. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I am looking forward to meeting you for the first time. And tell everybody also real quick. Joshua, by the way, he doesn't just write. He does a little bit of everything. Joshua hosts the Audible here Thursday nights at I believe 8:30. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thursday night at 8:30. We'll go a little bit earlier if we have some special guests. For the most part, it starts at 8:30. Um, yeah, we're skipping this week for obvious reasons. We have the draft,
Yeah.
but we'll be back in full sports next week. Working on some special guests for you guys. Hopefully they come through. But we'll definitely have some draft talk for sure. Anything that happens after that as well. I mean, you're looking at like an Antonio Brown, Blaine Gabbert situation. If they're not able to address those positions, maybe you see them address them after the draft, and even just to sign the draft picks, they're going to have to open up some cap space somewhere. I had
Yeah.
the fortunate chance to bump into Ali Marpet today, and we were kind of talking about that, and he pretty much said, "I hope we don't end up in the Saints situation," and he's like, "We're gonna have to restructure some guys or something." I'm like, "Yeah, they'll probably be knocking on your door," and we had a good little laugh about that. So, um,
Yeah, we'll see if he does it or not. That's the kicker. I mean, look at what the Chiefs did today. Because mostly Tyreek Hill, they had to get rid of some of their offensive linemen, and now they're trading and having to give up draft capital to sort of make up for it. Talk to me about the trade that went down today.
I thought that was an absolute steal and a half shell, turtle power for the Chiefs. What they got was a great right tackle, but someone who really played well last year at left tackle. They're going to have to
Right.
pay him, and the upper echelon for left tackles around 18 million, especially after dumping around 16 into Joe Tooney. It's going to get expensive on that offensive line real quick. But what they gave up was their first round pick this year, their third round pick next this year as well, fourth round pick this year, and a fifth round pick next year. In return, they got a second round pick and a sixth round pick next year. They essentially slid down into the second round and gave up a
Right.
third and a fourth. But those picks, as you remember,
Well, it's hard
are
to get a
towards
left tackle. It's hard to get that left tackle. I mean, you're talking
yeah. And I mean, especially at where they're going to be picking, you're not going to get a
right,
guy this good. And again, the draft is crapshoot. I mean, no one's
right,
guaranteed to be, and this guy's already a player. But essentially, what they did
right,
was they trade down from their first round pick. With those second round picks they have, they could easily trade back into the third round, pick up their fourth round this
right,
year, and probably a fifth round next year, and have it only cost them a first round draft pick. Keep, and maybe possibly even improve where their third
right.
and fourth round picks were in this year's draft. So for me, I thought that was a hands down win. Baltimore,
Yeah,
unfortunately, now has two picks right before the Buccaneers and have some similar positions of, I don't want to call them needs because Jason Light said they're not needs, but wants, where they could essentially, interior offensive line,
right.
edge rusher, positions, running back, wide receiver. They did take J.K. Dobbins, but, if you wanted to pair someone, some of those premier positions, a Christian
Yeah,
Barmore on the defense, if he falls down there, they're
right,
right in front of them. So if there were targets that the Buccaneers were looking at, I mean, now you have a team like the Ravens in front of you.
right. Now I've got a question for you about when about this. I heard a lot of talk today on NFL Network that very much surprised me about Lamar Jackson not being his future not being absolutely in in Baltimore, which I to me that was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
And
yeah, former
so
MVP.
yeah, the former MVP, and they're saying that that I believe, and I'm not sure if it was the GM or somebody involved with Baltimore, said that we're the army of the NFL, meaning army as in referring to the football team, meaning basically we may not be investing long term in a quarterback. We may just keep rotating through them. In essence, the way they put it on TV, and I thought it was kind of fascinating, is that maybe you bring a quarterback in that's good, and then he graduates and goes on somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely interesting because, like you said, the guy's made the playoffs every year he's been there. He's got bounced out of the playoffs, but also a former MVP. But he's also, I think, going to be trying to get a large contract somewhere in the Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott. And while he really hasn't been able to prove and make that next leap in the playoffs, plus he's still – a lot of people like to call him a running back. I hear it all the time, especially on the Locker Room app. If you're not on there, get on there. But people, kind of poke fun of him and jab at him saying he's more of a running back because if you look at it, one of his first instincts is to take off if his first and second read's not open. He doesn't have patience to go through his reads. Now, part of that could be because he doesn't have the wide receivers. He's had a good offensive line for the most part until last year got hit with injuries. But when you're throwing to Willie Snead and Brown and they're double teaming Mark Andrews because he's really the only consistent viable threat on that team. We'll see what they do in this draft with 2 first-round picks.
right.
I don't think anything would happen now. It'd be more next year when they have to pick up his 5th-year option.
Right.
If they're
Right,
going
which
to extend him or not.
Right, which to me I think is fascinating because it went. I mean, they didn't just trade Orlando Brown; they traded him to an AFC rival. I mean, those are 2 of the teams looked at as battling for, the AFC Championship. Them maybe Indy being thrown into that mix. Maybe there's some other Cleveland, Buffalo, but I mean it's weird to throw them into that conversation.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I'm going to bring it back to Locker Room. I apologize, but that's one of the great things about this app is as soon as that trade went down, I started a room to talk about it, and we had Baltimore fans in there, and we had Chiefs fans in there, and Baltimore fans, they were okay with what they got, but they were really upset with who they traded. They said they would rather trade him to Cincinnati rather than the Chiefs.
Right.
The Chiefs are one of the direct playoff competitors that they're going to go up
right.
against.
That's what I mean about how it's weird. It was weird who they traded to. It was very strange. It'd be like the Bucs trading in division, which, I mean, who knows? So I had a dream. I actually had a dream. This is funny. I actually had a dream. This is the first time I've ever had a dream about the draft. I had a dream that we traded with the Falcons, traded draft picks. I don't know why. I have no idea. I just think it's funny. It was like, what? When I woke up, I'm like, what in the world? But it was funny to me that, we'll see what happens. We'll see, how it all goes down. But I have a question. Are you able to stay here for about 5-10 more minutes?
Yeah, I got you. I'm here till at least 10 o'clock, my man.
Oh, awesome. I'm gonna open this up. I normally don't do this while I have a guest on this show, but I want to open this up and get some opinions of some of the folks out there and get their questions and everything. So let's talk to the pandemonium out there. Hey, Parrot Army, it's your turn. All right away, we are going to bring in Matt from Oklahoma City. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Doing good, Rick. How you doing?
Doing great. You're on with me and Josh. Yep, there you go. Now, Matt, do you have any questions about the draft? Because let me tell you something. You have the guy here. This is the guy.
Actually, I don't. I was going to talk to you about the numbers thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Why don't they just take the numbers off and put DL, LB, DB, TE, QB?
Well, you
RB?
need to identify who the player is when you're calling penalties and such.
And as fans and as
marketing.
I just think it's kind of silly. I always thought that Vita Vea being number 50 was out of cycle. I thought 50 was for a linebacker.
Right.
And then he got that number right out of college. Too. So I don't know that they really have a set rule.
What's that, Joshua?
54 can also be like a lineman number as well. I've seen many.
Well, it's weird. It's weird to me though. It is a lot more like college. It's getting to be like that where we're bringing, let me say this. Like Evan was talking about it'd be cool to see like, Vita Vea be 00 or something like that. Listen, if Vita Vea is coming at you with a number 1 on him, you're not going to go, oh, wow, man, I thought that was a kicker. I mean, right? You're not going to make that mistake. Vita Vea, you're going to know that's a lineman. You're going to know who's coming at you. And if you don't study enough in advance to know who these guys are or what their numbers are, that's on you. So I don't know. I mean, that's my thoughts on the subject matter.
I always thought that the numbers were marketing. I mean, everybody knows who Tampa Bay 99 in red.
Well, I also think it's easier though for the officials. I think the original idea was it's easy to tell who's going downfield. Is that an illegal man downfield? You can identify it quickly. There were things like that made it easier, but ultimately, do I care? No, I'll have to adjust to it a little bit, but I'll get there.
Basically, you come out in colors or you come out in white, right? So
what? I'm sorry, what, Matt?
You come out in colors or you come out in white. It's like skins and shirts. So if you're playing in white and you're seeing a guy in red come running at you, like you said earlier,
block him. Yeah.
It's not just for referees, so it's also for announcers in the booth when they're calling the game. They can look down and see number 99, and they have it memorized. Yeah. Number 99 is Warren Sapp. Number 99 on the play, Warren Sapp with the tackle.
Yeah. And I mean, but numbers started even before like games were big time and televised, and that wasn't the thinking. It was the original thought process was so you could tell who was doing what, so you knew what rules they were breaking, you knew what they were allowed to do and not allowed to do, and you understood them by position. I just don't think it matters like it used to.
Offensive linemen the same,
right?
That you don't want to have an offensive lineman line as number 6 because is that a legal guy down the field? Is it a tight end? Is it the lineman?
Right.
And that's why linemen are the same, I think.
Right. Now, Joshua, you brought up the fact that you thought the Buccaneers might even draft a tight end, and that completely blew my mind because that's the one position I wouldn't even remotely consider.
Well, I mean, everyone wants to make the big deal about we should get a quarterback to behind Brady, but
I'm not that guy either.
we've heard from that camp, but we've also heard from O.J. Howard and from Cam Brayton how much even Tanner Hudson and Anthony O'Clair before he signed with the Texans, how much Gronk has helped improve their game as well.
Right.
So if you've got the greatest of all time at tight end, wouldn't you want to bring a guy in here to learn from him? And you're going to keep 4 tight ends in the roster, which they did at some points last year with Tanner Hudson and Anthony O'Clair being called up to the active roster. Wouldn't you, with two of the 3 guys on the roster set to hit the market next year? It might make sense to look at a guy later on in the round. So again, remember, this team has a complete luxury to do whatever they want. If they don't draft a wide receiver, they go with 5 wide receivers. Maybe they carry 4 tight ends. If they only carry 4 running backs, maybe they carry 4 tight ends and 6 wide receivers. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, how they decide, and also you got to remember the line too really judges how many guys you're going to be able to have on that side. If you have a guy who can play center guard and a pinch tackle, well, that takes the need away to have specified guys at those spots. So the more you can do on the offensive line is one of the biggest positions that benefits a team, because if you have a guy who's very versatile and can play multiple roles, you have to dress 8 offensive linemen every game, but a lot of teams will carry 9 or 10 on the active roster. You eliminate that spot, it opens up a spot for somebody else. So I'm on the thinking if they don't take a quarterback this year, they bring back Blaine Gabbert, and maybe it's just Brady and Gabbert. You saw the Patriots do that a lot with just 2 quartbergs. It was Brian Hoyer.
Could it be Brady and Griffin? Could it be Brady and Griffin?
It could be. I mean, I'm not them. I don't know how comfortable. We've heard how much Light and Bruce Arians have talked about Gabbert, and Light even saying, Gabbert could be the future after Brady leaves. I don't buy that for a minute, but I think they're more comfortable with Gabbert starting in the bench if they had to over Griffin. I think it's just like I said before. I think it's more that whole AB situation where they're going to wait till after the draft, see what happens, see what they can address, and then look at it afterwards.
Yeah, I'm going to laugh about something with you guys for a second. Where
go ahead.
I hear so many people talk about, well, BA, he's a straight shooter. No, he's not. There are so many times I hear him say exactly what you need to say. And, I get it. Sometimes he's a straight shooter, but sometimes he's not. And that's That's what he has to do. He's being a head coach. He's doing his job. But you can't just, if he says it, it doesn't mean you can count on it. And things
No.
change.
Yeah,
I think we're better off just going for linemen if we're going to go that route. This year is going to be really strange, though, because for the last 5 years or so, every time you turn on the draft, you were able to watch it for the first hour and we'd be involved. Now we're going to wait till the last segment.
Maybe.
We can do the pick.
it's miserable, especially if they trade out and you stay up till 12 o'clock to watch.
Well, I'm a
trade out.
fan
I've
of
done
that, though.
multiple me too.
Yeah.
If the situation calls for it, but just staying up, getting excited for your pick, and then the New England Patriots have traded this pick. You're like,
Yeah.
of course they have.
Yeah.
What do they get for it?
Then you're right into tomorrow.
Well, let me tell you something. You're going to see.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you're going to see me happy. You'll see me throwing a party if that happens. I mean, I'll be so happy. I'll be the one idiot running around Fergs. Woohoo! Yeah! I'll be the one guy that's happy about the fact that because that's actually what I prefer that they do. Stack up picks next year. I want next year. I want to have 14 picks next year. I want it to be.
I think Fergs is going to have a lot of quarterback hunt going on in there. And when they don't pick a quarterback, there's going to be a bunch of really unhappy people.
Oh, you got some news, Joshua?
Well, like I've said, I've heard that the Buccaneers, and after speaking with him himself, and how many times he's met with them, I've heard that the Buccaneers do like Kyle Trask. And I know some people don't like to hear that. But another tidbit that you guys might want to know, Tom Brady was at the Lightning game last night, or was it last night or the night before? I believe it was last night. He was at the Lightning game last night. But he wasn't the only quarterback at that Lightning game. Mr. Kyle Trask was there as well.
Really?
Now, I wouldn't read into that. I don't know. I wouldn't read into that at all. Draft.
Let's start a rumor.
From a marketing standpoint, that was brilliant on Kyle Trask's agent part.
Right? The draft happens in mysterious ways, and there's never any telling if they could get a particular guy. But you have to think at some point of the night, Kyle Trask and Tom Brady had a little conversation there real quick.
Yeah. Well, they may be sending signals all over the place too. I mean, they may have the same agent. I mean, there are a lot of reasons stuff like that happens, and there's marketing involved, and the fact that they're both there gets this conversation happening right now, and that he was at a Tampa game. I mean, I remember was it last year or 2 years ago when oh my gosh, I just lost his name. Urban Meyer was at a Bucs game, and everything was
he was a head coach.
Yeah,
right.
Everything was was a buzz about that, and well, he's down the street, so maybe he was checking out the NFL at that point.
If we switched out of
the whole
Arians
Brett
to
Favre
Urban Meyer,
too.
that'd be the biggest mistake this franchise has made in years.
Brett Favre was at a Bucs game earlier in the year. Is he rooting against the Packers
Right.
NFC Championship game?
Yeah.
It's funny
Matt?
with narratives.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yep, I'm gonna move on. Thanks, brother.
Hey, man, you guys have a good night. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, keep the chat going, brother.
I'll do my best.
Thank you. All right, Johnny Dean, the professor, bringing Johnny Dean into this conversation. How you doing, my friend?
How's it going, guys?
Going great. Going
I
great.
gotta say one thing. For Joshua, man.
Yeah.
You just did read into it, Joshua. That's why you said it, though.
Yeah, you can't read anything into it. However, that's how it works. I think we all do that. That's like when you say, with all due respect.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I saw that today too, and I was going to make an article about it, but then I didn't want to read into it too much.
Yeah. With all due respect, means there's no respect coming. Yeah, I don't want to read into anything, but yeah, that's just how that goes. Yeah, exactly. I want to bring up something that's a little bit sad. I'm going to go ahead and bring this news up before we go into a commercial here real quick. But former Buck Geno Hayes, he's 33 years old. He's been placed in hospice care, and it's not for concussions. It's not for anything like that. I believe it's liver
Kidney failure.
Kidney failure. That's what it is, kidney failure. And I just want to tell everybody, please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers, and let's listen, Bucs family. Now's the time to get the good vibes out there, get the good juju going out there, because That family's going through some hard times, and I just wanted to bring that up before we went to commercial. Got a new commercial that we're going to play here for what's cooking in the South. So you guys hang around. We'll be right back. All right, guys, that's a for what's cooking in the South. That's on Saturday nights.
Chefing up new commercials like crazy.
Saturday night at 8:30.
I can't wait for the season to start back up and normalcy and tailgating, because I'm gonna add on to Rick's show that he does there with a little bit of tailgate series when I'm at the games there. And
so
we're gonna see what's cooking in the South End parking lot, maybe
in the South End zone. Yeah. So I want to bring up something. Yeah, I want to bring up something. Joshua did me a massive favor. Now, guys, the schedule is changing. I'm no longer going to be doing what's cooking in the South on Tuesday nights. It's just going to be on Saturday nights. But Joshua picked up the reins and covered this last Tuesday, and quite frankly, embarrassed me by doing better. I mean, Joshua, you hit a home run, my friend. You absolutely were phenomenal.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You don't have the song queued up, do you?
No, I do not have the song. And if I had thought of it, I would have. But yeah, Joshua sang a song, came on wearing an apron, which I hear is a children's apron, but
I told you that. I told you that.
I knew Joshua had a personality in there somewhere. He
Yeah.
let it out. He let it
I
out.
know. I know he's got that personality. Let me tell you something. He's some of my favorite moments here at Bucs Report have been with Joshua. So yeah, it's been a good time with him. So Joshua, thank you for
on my show. You know, I got guests on there.
Yeah.
National media, local. I gotta keep it somewhat professional, but I really
you-
enjoyed letting loose on what's cooking in the South.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's me. I get professional here. It's why I wear the sport coat, because it reminds me to behave. And then on Saturday nights,
like my highlight tape.
yeah, Saturday nights and Sunday nights, that's a whole different animal. But anyway. I just really wanted to thank you for Saturday's show, because you actually did a just a phenomenal job. Matt Colson, even there in the chat room, is saying what a great job you did, and I appreciate that. Ben Parrish mentions we're still champs, and ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth, Johnny? Do you have anything you wanted to say about any of the comments I made about Levante David talking about Jameis, or Jameis admitting that he was being laughed
I
at?
was fighting my internet, and I had to reboot my entire system while you were starting. So
Okay.
I didn't hear anything, man.
Well, yeah, okay. The bottom line is Levante David said that the Bucs were freaked out by Jameis's eating a W pregame speech that one time.
I would have to say I would be freaked out if he wasn't freaked out about it.
Yeah, but he basically said, yeah, Jameis gets emotional, and yeah, even Jameis knew it was kind of weird and whatever. It was off the cuff. He said it was off the cuff. He just said it kind of off the cuff. And this to me, though, let's bring this back to football, because this to me illustrates all of the problems with Jameis. First of all, he's trying so desperately to act like a leader and mimic what he thinks a leader does, and that's have the big pregame speech and say something that's gonna have this big powerful impact, and that's what he came up with, and I think that shows where the problem lied. Now I'm hoping, for Jameis's sake, I would love to see Jameis grow up and become the leader that he wants to be. But I still see him saying things like, when he was at the youth football camp and he said, and this is just the perfect demonstration of all things that are a problem with Jameis. Is he starts off so good. He's saying, you know what, guys, I was the number one pick. I went from being number one pick to being laughed at. And you still, you've got to show up and you've got to work hard. And he's doing so good and everything is great. And Jameis is right on pitch. Everything he's saying is dead on. And then he goes and says, I work harder than any other quarterback, than anybody else in my position.
Oh, jeez.
and it's like, man, even if you do, which I'm not saying you do, even if you do, why does that come out of your mouth? And especially he's standing in front of Dak Prescott at the time. And it just seems to me that there are times Jameis just makes the wrong decision. And this is a very clear example, yet again, of the decision-making problems that came with him. And anybody who says we shouldn't be talking about this, that Jameis was last year, Jameis is the Saints quarterback. We're in the NFC South. So no, we're going to talk about him. Guys, I'm sorry. He's he's an issue again, okay?
Yeah, I see that as a complete slap at Dak Prescott, and only a child would do something like that in the first place.
Right.
I
it's
mean,
just
that's
it's just bad decision making. Again, it's just like he acknowledged, he turned when he said it and said, yeah, I know, I'm in front of Dak. And then he just kept going. And it's like, yes, I know I'm in front of Dak, but I work harder than him. I mean, that's kind of what. But there's
Jameis is on the spectrum, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's something about him. It's just this emotional, his inability to contain. I heard a long time ago, and I think this is a very cool way to put this. Some people are thermostats, and some people are thermometers. A thermostat is someone who sets the tone in the room. A thermometer is a gauge of the tone in the room. All right, a thermometer, if everybody's jacked up and excited and all of that, you're jacked up and excited. You're kind of a measuring stick for the tone of the room. But someone like Tom Brady, with the text messages that he sent before the Super Bowl, with this pregame speech that we're all wishing we could hear, those are the things that make Tom Brady the ultimate in being a thermostat, setting the temperature in the room, setting the tone, setting the mindset, getting everybody else, getting all of the thermometers, correct. And that's what I have always found the problem with Jameis. And as a Bucs fan, I'm looking forward to facing this. Is I don't believe he can keep his emotions and mental state in check. They're going to have to keep him throwing 20-yard passes. But then again, he threw a lot of interceptions on those short passes. So I don't know. I mean, it's the Bucs are going to have to face this guy, and don't look at it that it's.
Wait. Are you sure the Bucs are going to have to face him? Because
I'm not positive.
It's not really looking that way right at the moment.
Why do you say that?
Because they're talking about they're going to start Taysom Hill.
That's not what they said. That's not at all what they said. They said there's going to be an open competition.
Well, I didn't say I heard them say that. I said it looks like they're going to start Taysom Hill. And to me, the signs are leaning that way. I mean, I was listening to Evan Winter, and he believes so too. To me, I think they're not going to. I think Jameis Winston has not grown enough, and they're not going to trust their franchise with him.
I think you're going to see a two-headed monster. I think you're going to see a two-headed monster out there. I think you're going to see both shuttling in and out, depending on the situation. You're going to see it be the kind of thing where, okay, we've got this play that should work now with Taysom Hill. We've got this play right now that should work with Jameis, and they're going to start bringing people in and out based on their skill set and what they're going to do. And that's what I would expect is going to happen. There's no way they're going to let me say this. I'll be shocked. Everybody acts like, okay, they're paying Taysom this much money. They're not going to let him be a backup. They've been paying him that much money, and he's been a backup. They will pay him that much and let him be a backup. They've already proven that. So I kind of look at that as there's a look. This next year is going to be interesting to watch New Orleans because it's right now they're a wild card, but I don't want anybody thinking Jameis is going to be a pushover. I don't want everybody thinking that Sean Payton doesn't know what he's doing, because Sean Payton's that's one smart cat. I can't stand him, but that guy knows what he's doing, and I think it's something you're going to have to keep your eyes open pretty wide, because at any given moment anything can happen. And we saw that in the playoffs, didn't we? At any given moment, all of a sudden, Jameis is on the field throwing a deep pass for a touchdown. Where'd that come from? They saw something, they identified it, and they worked it. And he didn't
get a single start. Taysom Hill did.
I understand that, but
and it's not like Jameis is inexperienced. It's not like he's a rookie coming in. He's got 4 years out there.
Not with them. Okay, not with them. So let's see. I don't think it's. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing about Jameis is, as you said, the way he was talking and the way that he's performed with the Buccaneers, and even going into that game where the Saints had a really large lead. He almost threw 2 interceptions in that game. One of them was dropped, I believe, and the other one was just out of the reach of a defender. And I believe he took 2 sacks as well in that game.
Right.
Jameis, and the biggest thing about him, like I said, he has all the talent in the world. The guy could be a potential, Jameis 101 over somewhere is like we're hearing this and freaking out. And like, he could be an all-pro Hall of Fame type quarterback. His problem, and it continues to be the problem, is decision-making. Decision-making on the field, decision-making off the field, and decision-making how he addresses things. Like, again, the eating the W's. Decision-making. Was that the best decision when you did nothing in that game? Probably not. At his camp saying he's the hardest worker. Was that good decision-making? Probably not. He doesn't know how to make proper decisions with the football and with his.
He gets caught up in the moment too much. Yeah, he gets caught up in the moment too much, and that to me is a defining characteristic of him, is getting caught up in the moment, and that's what you don't see. By the way, hold on, Johnny. That's what you don't see from Tom Brady. When you're down 28-3, Tom Brady didn't get caught up in that moment. Okay, he instead stepped up. Right. So that's where the mentality, that's where the change is. When it's all hype time before a game, he gets caught up in that moment. And, I just think there's a, and I think it's gotten him in trouble in life sometimes, getting caught up in the moment. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think he works harder than anyone, that's for sure. I definitely don't think he works harder than anyone at the position.
I know that last year, Taysom Hill took a vanilla offense, and that was not a highly schemed offense. That was a vanilla offense.
Right.
Okay. Any rookie could have came in there and played that, but Taysom Hill got the starts, not Jameis.
I understand that, but I just think it was also an offense that was it was vanilla, but nobody knew what to expect because he's a different kind of cat. And
that's my point.
Right, but now there's tape on him. So the surprise factor, the not sure what Taysom's going to do, now he's not so much a surprise, and teams can start to figure him out. You're going to see Jameis. I'll be shocked if you don't. I've been shocked before, but I'll be shocked if you don't.
I think you need to get ready to be shocked. I think and during this draft that they might actually go for a quarterback, and that will shock them.
Joshua, what do you think about that?
That will be a big turnover, shock in the draft.
I could see that too. If Mac Jones is at 3, he starts falling. They could definitely be one of those guys that try to trade up and get him. They're a team that had Drew Brees, which is more of a pocket passer. I think Mac Jones would fit their offense perfectly. Another thing they could also do is grab one of these guys that are Kellen Mond or Davis Mills at the end of the first. A lot of people have them moving up. Just a week ago, Peter Schrager had the Buccaneers taking Davis Mills out of Stanford at 32. Let
me ask you something, Joshua.
Is going to get taken in the first round, Mond or Davis Mills.
Yeah, Joshua.
If the Saints take on him, just go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask you something because you're the perfect guy to ask this, and I know you got to run. We've kept you late, and I'm sorry about that. But I want to ask you this before.
You get me start talking draft. I just.
Well, here's this is my question. You were talking about the Ravens moving in front of having 2 picks in front of the Bucs now.
Yep.
And we also talked a little bit about the possibility that maybe Lamar Jackson isn't their quarterback of the future. What are the chances?
They're talking contract extension with him right now.
Well, are they? I mean, I okay. What they were saying today is that they are not exercising the fifth-year option right now. They made a comment very clearly alluding to the fact that they were considering moving on, saying that they're the army of pro football, meaning they're going to be shuttling players through like college, and this was with regard to Lamar Jackson. So I don't know I don't know that it's quite that clear. They made it. They definitely very loudly raised a question about that today. So my thought process, my question, Joshua, is could they be looking quarterback?
I don't think so. I think they have too many holes, on that team. Wide receiver, and edge rusher seem like the most likely spot that will go back to back. But I would not be surprised if they use both of those picks to package to try to move up earlier in the first round to get one of these more premium guys.
Right.
Back to the Saints, the thing about the Saints moving up is they've done it so much with Marcus Davenport and they moved around, and they still don't have many picks this year. Is that we're getting to the point where they put all this money in this roster, and you saw the cuts they had this year. You saw how they had to let key free agents go, and kicking the can. Eventually, that can is going to catch up to you, and it's going to get dumped all over you, and you're going to be a dumpster fire. So trading away cost control draft picks in my mind doesn't make sense for them. If they like Davis Mills or if they like Kellen Mond, I could see them taking it. They also need cornerback help. They need wide receiver help. They need defensive end help after Trey Henderson left. So I think for them, trading up for a quarterback is out of the question. And same thing with the Ravens. But could they maneuver themselves around the board? Could the Saints move back? I could definitely see that, pick up more picks. Could the Ravens move up to acquire a marquee guy in this draft? There's very few of them. I could see that happening too. There's going to be a lot of movement on draft day because I think everyone's going to have boards set up differently than other teams. And as Jason Light said the other day, there's not as much high-end talent in this draft. You're already hearing, okay, Panthers are willing to trade out. Denver might be willing to trade out. Atlanta, Giants, all these teams are willing to move back and trade out. And we'll see how it happens. But I have a ton of movement on day one, but even more so on day 2 and day 3. I think we're going to see this year might break the records for trades in a draft. I really do believe
that would be interesting and crazy and all of that. And Joshua, I look very much forward to talking to you about this on Tuesday night when we do the draft special, where we're going to get into the weeds on all of this.
They're going to be up and down. I think they move back. I think they move up. I think they move back and up multiple times throughout this draft to secure prospects. I think
everybody's saying that. Watch, there's going to be fewer trades than ever because nobody's going to know what to do. Nobody's going to be sure what to do. But let me
trade up is going to be for offensive guard. They got to get a guard now.
Okay, Joshua, I'm going to talk about the draft here. I put the flyer up here. That's for the draft party at Ferg's Thursday and Friday. Come see us out at Ferg's in St. Pete. It's going to be a lot of fun, lots of food. Lots of drink, lots of good times, lots of picks. So come on out there. I want to meet you guys in person. It's a good chance for me to do that. I live in Charlotte, so I'm going to be down there in Tampa for this or St. Pete. And
make sure you go both nights too, because I won't be there, and I want to meet some of y'all too. I'll be Thursday. I'll be live from Ray J giving some updates and doing some stuff like that. But I'd like to meet some of you guys too. So come down Thursday and Friday, get a babysitter, put a little bit of money aside this Friday's paycheck, and let's get after it.
Yep, Joshua. One more time, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me as Rick has so eloquently put up on the broadcast right now. You can find me on Twitter at Joshua_C_Allen. My Facebook is right there. You can find me all over Bucs Report. As Evan said, I'm multitasking right here. I'm actually writing my quarterback Bucs best fits for quarterback article while we're doing this. So that will be up tomorrow. We'll have mock draft, the lore out on Monday, and the Audible. Like I said, a brief pause this week. There may be a special pop-up edition next week. I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll get more information on that. Things are in the works. But other than that, you can find me on a plethora of other shows as well. So just stay tuned to Bucs Report. You never know where I'm going to pop up. Maybe I pop up tonight on Cup of Ray. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
Well, that's kind of interesting, and we haven't talked about that. But tonight there's going to be a very special pop-up show with Ray Kennedy. That's going to be after this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. He's going to be at Ferg's tonight, so you will actually, guys, you'll get a sneak peek at Ferg's and all the happenings down there right after this show, or reasonably after this show, is going to be Ray Kennedy with a special pop-up. I don't know if he's calling it a Cup of Ray. I don't know what he's calling it, but
you never know with Ray.
That's to be determined.
There you go. This is quite literally a cup of Ray. So, yeah, I love that logo. It's a great mug. But yeah, and you can, for the Audible, you can get you go to bucksreportgear.shop and you can see all kinds of gear for the Audible and all kinds of things. Joshua, thanks for coming by, my friend.
Always a pleasure, Johnny. Good to speak with you. We already gone. Rick, we'll talk soon, my friend.
Yep, have a good one.
Bye.
All right, that was awesome. That was that was fun, and I'm looking forward to Ray's show. I will be watching that, so I'm excited about that. I want to talk also about the NFL. I'm going to do this right after this commercial we got coming up, but I'm going to talk about Roger Goodell and the fact, this is a weird thing to talk about, I guess, but Roger Goodell is going to be hugging players at the draft this year. And if you think about it, when it comes to last year and the pandemic and all of that and the social distancing, blah, 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 he's going to do that. Let's talk about that in just a second. Okay, guys, so Roger Goodell, the NFL talked about today that there's not going to be the social distancing that we maybe have gotten used to. You know, on sidelines, even like you watch NASCAR races, and they've got like this 12-foot long microphone pole that they're standing back and interviewing the person from like 12 feet away, or you see Aaron Jones on the field. I mean, up in the first row of the stands, interviewing a player down on the field. Roger Goodell is actually going to hug the draft picks and hand them their jersey and everything, just like we're used to seeing. And I thought that was interesting. It's the NFL basically taking a step forward. What they did, they are saying that he's been vaccinated and it does not violate the rules of social distancing, and it does not equal close contact. I'm not sure how hugging somebody cannot equal close contact. Hugging 32 players or whatever in the first round, I don't know how that does not equal close contact. Seems like it does. I'm not saying I have a problem with it. I'm just saying it's a little unusual that that's the case. It's a little unusual that the NFL is let's just say they're going to be the forerunner once again when it comes to COVID. They're stepping forward first and doing something like this. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying the NFL definitely is it's a marketing machine, and you know what that's all about. You know that's what we're talking about here is marketing. I also want to talk about the fact, speaking of marketing machines, I want to talk about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, and apparently he's in love with the Florida tight end, Pitts, that he is apparently giddy with the idea of having him. I believe his exact words were visions of sugar plums dancing in his head when it comes to him becoming a Dallas Cowboy. And that's interesting to see. Are they going to trade up to get him? What I find funny, I tend to doubt it, but I don't know. What I find funny about Dallas is how many skill position players can you pay that much money to and just not be decimating both sides of the ball on the line. It just seems like both sides of the ball, they are just ignoring it. I mean, Jerry Jones seemed to literally be covering his eyes and pretending the line doesn't matter. I don't know what's happened to him. I know maybe it's selling tickets. I mean, it's sexy to bring in somebody like Pitts. That guy is going to be a beast. But when you're paying Dak what you're paying him, when you're paying Zeke Elliott what you're paying him, and now you keep paying these players. Now it's yet another skill position that you're going to bring in somebody. Now it's not like the Bucs. These guys aren't coming cheap. Okay, the Bucs are not paying their quarterback a whole lot of money. Dallas is. The Bucs are not paying. They're not paying their running back, their first string running back, a lot of money. Dallas is. It's a whole different. Dallas is approaching it from a completely different approach, and there's something to be said for the fact that Dallas has been bad for a long time because of the way the organization is run, top down. Now, I've talked to you guys before about the fact that I've worked for different NFL teams. I've had the opportunity to work for multiple NFL teams and sort of, see a little bit about how they're run and the culture within those organizations. And I've been around a team with just a very bad, very lax, very unprofessional, very lax culture. And that team, it shows on the field. And it has shown on the field, and they haven't, I can't remember the last time they were in the Super Bowl. But you take teams like Atlanta that I worked for, like the Bucs, and there's a different level of professionalism. And that to me speaks volumes. That to me says everything that needs to be said. You watch these teams, you watch the culture. And I promise you the culture is from the top down, all the way down. And one of the things that I want to point out about Tom Brady and how he affects the minutia of the team. Tom Brady is driven to the details. He pays so much attention to the details in his game and the game of others. Bruce Arians this week made the comment, I can tell a guy that when he's running a route to sharp, you want sharp cuts, you want to keep your arms moving and running through the cut. These are things you want to do. And he said, Tom Brady says it, and boom, the players listen. Bruce says it, and he's like, it's like they don't even hear me. Now, Tom Brady is driven to the details. Not just him, not just about him. He's orchestrating all of the details around him. Who's doing that in Dallas? Who's orchestrating all of the details in Dallas? You know the answer. It's Jerry Jones. It's Jerry Jones. Now, this is not going to end well. What Dallas is doing right now is not going to end well. For the players, like Dak, like Zeke Elliott, it's not going to end well because they're building and structuring and they're putting together an organization that is not wired to succeed in the long run. What are the Bucs doing? Here's where I'm going with this. I'm going to bring this all back to the Buccaneers right now. What I would like to see the Buccaneers do. I would like to see the Buccaneers trade down like crazy. Amass draft picks. Keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. Keep trading down. Just amass the draft picks for the years coming. Do that and build your future. Do that. And watch the success. Now, guys, when you think, but draft picks are not given. You don't know that those draft picks are going to succeed. No, you don't. But let me tell you something. Listen to Jason Light's track record. 2016, Vernon Hargraves. Oops. 2017, O.J. Howard. Jury's out. 2018, Vita Vea. 2019, Devin White. 2020, Tristan Wirfs. That's 3 heavy hitters right in a row. 3 not kind of success stories, but possible Pro Bowlers in a row. Let me say that again. 3 possible Pro Bowlers in a row. Which one of those guys are you going to say shouldn't be in the Pro Bowl? Vita Vea, Devin White, or Tristan Wirfs? Which one shouldn't be in the Pro Bowl? I'll wait. I mean, that's a question that I find interesting, because it seems to me like these guys, like what Jason Light has done. Now imagine you trade down and you amass draft picks for next year and the year after, and the same guy who, Vita Vea, Devin White, Tristan Wirfs, the same guy is making those picks, making those decisions. The problem is that you have to draft with an understanding of your system. And that's where the problem came early in Jason Light's career. Jason Light did not choose Lovie Smith or Jeff Tedford. Jason Light did not, he was saddled with those things. He wasn't familiar with the system. He's drafting he's in essence out of his element. Now, after that, he's got Dirk. Again, not his guy. Dirk had to stay because of Jameis, and you want to keep the familiarity in that offense with Jameis. Well, Jameis is gone, and now Dirk's guy is there, and you are able to draft accordingly. You're able to draft for a system you're familiar with. This is what Jason Light's been wanting to do all along. Now, all the pieces and parts are working together. Everybody's on the same page. There's a unified vision for this organization. And I'm sure Joshua Cole Allen can tell you, press conferences are run better, and that part of the organization is run better. The media side of it, behind the scenes. I bet you the website guys are impacted by Tom Brady, not just the pictures that they have to put up, but the detail and the attention to detail that they're involved in. Every area of this franchise is obsessed with an attention to detail, and it's exciting to watch. I had a chance to today. Joshua Cole Allen was sending pictures of the fact that, I wish I had asked him about this. There were the Stanley Cup and the Lombardi Trophy. The Rays brought their American League Championship trophy with them, and I believe the other one was the Rowdies. I'm not sure. Brought their trophy with them, but they had all the trophies together, and they took pictures with the bay behind them, and Tampa, I believe, off in the distance. And when people talk about Tampa Bay, when you talk about, for instance, the Lightning organization and the way Jeffrey Vinnick runs that organization, the attention to detail, the way that organization is run, the way the Buccaneers are run, it's something. This is an amazing thing if you've been a Bucs fan for long to hear what I'm about to say. You can be proud of how this franchise is run. It's an amazing thing. Who thought I could say that? But you can be proud of how the franchise is run. And that is brand new. That is something we have not had in Tampa in a long, long time. So I'm going to open it back up one more time to all of you guys out there. Hey, Pandemonium. Hey, Parrot Army. It's your turn. All right, guys, I'm going to put the link in chat so that you guys can come on and talk. And otherwise, I will put the phone line I will open the phone line for the first time tonight, so you guys can reach out and get with us. Mike DeRoche is signing off because he's not feeling well. Mike, feel better, my friend. Just know that what you're feeling is what you're seeing is, or what, Mike, what you're feeling after the vaccination is your immune system kicking in, doing its job. That's how you end up not being able to catch the virus. So I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but it's not a bad thing. But anyway, let me go ahead and also open the phone line here. 678-825-5263. That's 678-825-5263. Give me a shout, and we can talk all about the Bucs and everything going on. All the things that I've brought up to you. Let me make sure I have the phone up. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, and I don't have it running at the moment. We may have a problem. We will see. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to a commercial real quick just so I can be sure we have this running. And, oh, no. Okay, it's up. It's up. The phone line is running. So, yeah, give me a shout and let's talk. Let's talk Bucs. There's so much to talk about. There's Jameis. There's everything Tom Brady said about the numbers and all of that information. There's the Ravens trading Orlando Brown to the Chiefs, and that impacts us, guys. That impacts us. You guys realize why they're building their offensive line, right? You realize why they're building the offensive line. Hey, Matt Colson, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wanted to talk to you about the Jameis thing.
Yeah.
But you just brought up the guy that got traded today.
Yeah, Orlando Brown.
I don't know if you caught this. Around on Facebook, but the guy's name was Brown.
Yeah.
And immediately on about 4 or 5 Buccaneer pages, people thought that we'd signed Antonio Brown over to the Chiefs.
Well,
I mean, there was one link going on where the guy he thought it was gospel, and you'd bring up the ad and stick it in the chat, and he didn't believe it.
yeah.
I don't know what kind of trolling was going on with that, but
That's funny.
That was kind of funny.
Well, I mean, that happens. It's, what is it? It must be true. I saw it on the internet. Remember that commercial?
Oh my God. Can you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a French model.
It's got to be.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's me.
Yep.
I'm 6 foot tall, 220 pounds, a solid man. Well, most of it's on my belly, but we don't really care.
Well, it's not hollow, so it is solid. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But
God, can you hear this cat?
no, cat's going nuts.
Oh. Yeah, he's got a friend outside.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
Didn't want him to learn that there was friends outside, but
Yeah.
he snuck out on me today.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
Yep. You got to watch out for that.
anyway,
You got to watch out for that.
so you were talking about the Saints
Yeah.
with the two-headed monster.
Yeah.
I stand by that philosophy. I don't know if it was Parcells or if it was Madden that said if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that Sean Payton would be willing to put his career basically on the line post Breeze. He's got to make some kind of an impression.
I don't know if that's
or he's
the
going to end up
case.
being a Belichick kind of form where it was the quarterback, not the coach.
Well, I don't know. Because he's done well with both. He's done well with both Taysom Hill in there as a starter and with Teddy Bridgewater in there as a starter. So, and by the way, I wouldn't even be shocked to see Bridgewater end up back in New Orleans. But I want to say that overall, here's the thing. I don't think Sean Payton looks at that as a long-term solution, but a one-year thing where people don't know how to deal with it until they can get it nailed down. I could see that.
Well, that would be. They may actually accept that in New Orleans.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, Jameis is not. You mentioned it in his at a school, if I paid $230 or $400 or whatever it costs to put my kid in a camp,
Right.
and the guy directing it comes out and says, "I used to be a number one pick, but now people think I'm a fool, but I still take your check." I mean, you don't tell kids that. The whole reason for basketball and teach skills, whether or not you're with your life as a professional,
Right.
if you got cut or whatever, that's not something you don't want to tell a kid you might work real hard, but people are still going to think you're an idiot.
Yeah. No.
I mean, what's the message?
No, absolutely. You are right. You're absolutely right. What is the message? And it's certainly a mixed message. Thank you for your check. People laugh at me. That's probably not the thing you want to say.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'd be like, I don't know. You never want to. You always want to present yourself as a trusted professional, and that's not a way to do it. That is not a way to do it. So.
Yeah, I would have been
Yeah.
as a parent. I would have been really upset.
Yeah.
To have my kid go sit through that.
Yeah.
But
well,
God,
I got a surprise coming up here, so I'm gonna have to.
You gonna let me go?
Yeah, because I got a surprise coming up.
All right, man. Well, have a good night.
Yeah, you gotta listen to this. You will
Okay.
appreciate this being a miscreant.
Okie dokie.
All right, let me bring
Yeah,
him
good
in.
night.
Let me bring in a very special guest that I've been waiting for a very long time for this to happen. It's finally time for the triumphant return of one Nick Citro.
I came out of hibernation.
Nick Citro has returned.
You're gonna blow my eardrums out.
How you doing, brother?
Not too bad. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Pleasure to have you here. Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
So the draft. It's a crazy year. It's a different kind of year. Everything's, other than after maybe the first 2 or 3 picks. To me, nobody has any clue what's going on. Everybody's putting out mock draft after mock draft after mock draft. They're all different, and it's actually just a reflection of the fact that nobody really has an idea of what the heck is happening. And then it seems like afterwards, the way it usually works, what happens is somebody, they've got mock draft 23.0, and then they say, "See, I told you." So
Yeah, it's crazy. It seems like it flew by, honestly, this offseason where the
Yeah.
Bucs played into February. Then we had, I guess, kind of a boring free agency period, but we were all kind of waiting who was going to sign back. So far, we have everybody but Antonio Brown. And I was sitting here last weekend, like, the draft is in 2 weeks. Now it's 1 week away. It's flown by faster than any other year. And I think it's just because the Bucs played into the playoffs for the first time in a long time.
Well, they got the shortest offseason. Them in Kansas City have the shortest offseason because, they kept playing. So,
and it's even more impossible to guess who they're picking at 32. Never mind, picks 7 through 12, which are already kind of hard, but you have a idea of a player pool. 32, I mean, you might as well just throw darts at a dartboard with names because it's almost impossible.
Yeah. Especially when you don't have any area of glaring need. It really depends because somebody's going to fall. Okay, if somebody always falls. Who it is that's going to fall in the draft that you're not expecting. I mean, I watched this for years with New England. New England just sitting there at 32, and some idiot falls down to them, and they scoop them up, and it just seems like that's what the Bucs are poised to do.
Do you think the Patriots are going to trade up for Trey Lance? That seems to be the draft rumor around. Or a quarterback in general.
Here's what it seems like. It seems like the Patriots are acting like a desperate team. They are acting like a team that knows we've got to change or we're not going to win. And, all the signs are there. They've not acted this way in 2 decades. And now throw out the whole Bill Belichick playbook. he's gone a whole different direction. I mean, spending in free agency, going wild on that kind of thing. I mean, this is not the Bill Belichick playbook. This is a whole different animal. Now, what do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think the Bucs are going to trade down? I mean, my preference is for them to trade down. Just keep trading down. Just keep trading down. Amass a ton of picks for next year, and I will be thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jason Light kind of tipped his hat a little bit where he said not a lot of these guys are going to make the roster. So does he then trade away his picks to trade up this year? I mean, I don't know if there's really, like, is there really anyone worth? I guess 32 is such a, it exponentially the value of the picks go down by so much that you're going to have to give up a lot if you're going to try to get into the top 20. But if a guy like J.C. Horn falls at corner, like, do you trade up for that? I mean, I don't know. They don't really need a corner. They don't really need that much.
They don't really need really anything, and they're even pretty good on depth, and that's why I want to see them trade down and trade down and trade down and trade down and just keep amassing picks, because you got a lot of guys on one-year deals. So when you have all these guys on one-year deals, then you know, a year or two when they're not around anymore, you've just been able to reload.
I'd be surprised if they trade down this year.
Would you?
I think they've traded down in years where they were already really high up in the draft and they could get a lot of value. I think they trade up. I think it's a higher chance they trade up than trade down, just based on what Jason Light said.
Yeah. Well, he's done that in the past, but I just feel like there's not a position who are you going to draft and put him in the starting lineup? I mean, do you want to use your draft capital for someone that you know is not going to be a starter? Hopefully, will be depth. That's I don't know. That doesn't feel like the smartest use of resources to me. But you know what? Far be it from me to question what Jason Light's doing, because he seems to kind of be pretty darn good at this.
It's better than past years where we're sitting here saying the Bucs are in the top 10 and they need this position, this position, this position, this position, and you know there's not enough picks to fill them all. I think really, honestly, if you look at their entire roster, obviously they're not going to pick us at 32 or 64. Their biggest need is like kick and punt returner.
Right.
I mean, it's been absolutely atrocious.
And you got T.J. Logan to do that if you want.
Oh,
and
God,
I mean,
don't get me started.
Well, that's what I think.
It's been a decade since they've had any threat at kick return. And Deshaun Jackson just kind of did it when he felt like it. Adam Humphries didn't really do much but fair catch.
Yeah.
So if they can get a speed receiver in the third or fourth round that can actually fill that role, I think this team will be lethal at all three phases.
Well, it's kind of funny because you almost wonder if that's not what they're doing. You wonder if they're not drafting for special teams in essence. I mean that's almost what you have to do, because they have depth. I mean, they have the depth. That's the funniest part of all of it. I mean, they've got great pieces on this team. There's not a position that if somebody goes down other than quarterback, there's not a position that you can't weather it. And that's it's crazy to think that, isn't it, Nick? I mean, you've been a Bucs fan. You know what it's like. Let me ask you this, because I didn't get to talk to you much near the end of last year or anything. Talk to me about your journey as a Bucs fan last year.
Oh, jeez.
From the beginning all the way through the end, because, you know, I mean, I remember talking to you back in the days when it was like, hey, we're going to get new uniforms, and that was the exciting news. You know, you remember that?
I was hyped for new uniforms. I was so those old alarm clock uniforms were just atrocious.
Yeah, so talk about your whole journey through last year, and tell the story.
I would say, I mean, I've been a Bucs fan ever since. Really, I mean, I was born in '95, so ever since I was 4 or 5 years old, kind of around there, I started following the team. And I guess specifically last year, I mean, I remember the Saints game. We all remember the first drive, they go down and score, and I'm thinking, this is a new era of Bucs football. And the rest of the Saints game, they just get crushed. Tom Brady throws a pick six. I think he throws it over Mike Evans' head, and it's just kind of a disaster. And I reeled in that hope once again, like we're all used to. Kind of tempered expectations. Then they went on, kind of crushed the Broncos, the Panthers.
Yeah.
And they kind of had a winning streak together. play the Chargers, and it's like reeling the hope back again. They come out and beat them. So it's just really kind of just up and down for a while. Then that I think it was, 3-game stretch? It was the Saints, the Chiefs, and the Rams.
Right.
And I said, this team, I hope they I hope they win a playoff game and I'll be happy. That's what I said. I hope they win a playoff game and I'll be happy because it's been so long.
Right.
They railed off 4 wins. It was tough against the Falcons, although honestly, I was pretty confident they would win those 4 games because they were pretty bad opponents. They were besides the Falcons game, the first Falcons game, they were in control the entire time. They just routed the Lions. I mean, that was a disaster for the Lions.
Something happened in that Falcons game, that first Falcons game. Something happened in the first half that, to me, they were down. I forgot what the score was, like 21
to 7 or something.
Yeah,
4-7.
Yeah, and they had. I'm going to use the word. They had a confident swagger right at the end of the half that all of a sudden something changed with that team, and I said it at the time. I had a conversation that was either with Matt from Oklahoma City, or I think it was Matt from Oklahoma City. We had a discussion at halftime of that game and said they've got this, and for some weird reason, I felt confident that they were going to come back.
It was weird. I felt confident too, just because we have Tom Brady. They had done it before against the Chargers.
I think they had against the Falcons too.
And I think the defense really struggled, and it was apparent. They reeled it together, and then the last game, I don't even remember the Week 17 game against the Falcons. I didn't really care because I think they already had clinched.
Right.
Then we have Washington football team. I said, if they don't win this game, I'll be pissed, but if they win, I'll be satisfied. And I was hoping they get a home game against the Rams. Obviously, that didn't happen. They played the Saints.
Yeah.
And I just reeled expectations back again. I was like, well, I'm telling myself they probably won't win, so don't get too excited. It's just constant PTSD as a Bucs fan.
Right. By the way, we've adopted a term for that. It's BTSD. BTSD.
All right.
It's Bucs traumatic stress disorder.
They got to put that in the official medical
dictionary
now.
Lexicon.
So honestly, the Saints game was probably my favorite playoff win, just because I'm so sick and tired of them. Saints fans have been talking so much crap on social media.
Yeah.
They finally kicked their butt after getting crushed in the regular season. Then we got NFC Championship game. They already had killed the Packers. I was like, this team can go to the Super Bowl. Obviously, they did that, and then I kind of reeled expectations back again because I was, we're all hoping and praying they win it, but Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill just demolished them.
Yeah,
and the defense just absolutely. I mean, the game was over after the first quarter. I was confident after the first quarter, but I was waiting for Patrick Mahomes to do something or the offense to click, and it just never happened. It was just. It was a roller coaster of a ride in a good way, I suppose, to sum it up.
Yeah, the season was definitely a roller coaster, and for me, I was numb during the Super Bowl. I never felt that elation. I
didn't either. It was bizarre.
Yeah, I just sat there trying to process it, as in, this really is happening. This really is happening. Holy cow, man, we're gonna win another one.
I told people I was going to cry tears of joy, and I just sat there and I was like, I don't even know what is, did we really win?
That's how I, no, but Nick, that's exactly how I felt.
I never got that euphoria. I don't know.
I never did either. And it didn't hit me until the boat parade day. And that's the day I got most excited. And what's funny is the same thing happened to me at the last Super Bowl that they won. It was the night that they had the celebration in the stadium. That was the first night that it really hit me. And for me to, as a Bucs fan, like you talked about it, there's been so much trauma, there's been so much bad that I'm sitting there watching it thinking, this, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And I'll tell you this, Nick, I go back to Tom Brady signing and me feeling like something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. We can't have this good of news. We can't, as Bucs fans.
we can't feel happy. That's not possible.
Right. But I mean, there's a reality to that. There's a reality to that is every time you feel happy, it's like Pavlov's dog kind of thing where crap, the bell's ringing. I'm about to get kicked. You know, I mean, it was kind of that. It's like, okay, here comes the moment where we're supposed to be happy. Duck, you know, because Bill Parcells leaving him at the altar twice. So many things happening to this team and when Tom Brady scored on the first drive, when he let him down, but then he scored on the first drive, I was thinking, holy cow, this is new. And then he proceeded to throw 2 interceptions and lose the game. And it was like, here we go. now I'm back in familiar.
Saints game now?
The very first game of the season. Yeah, the Saints.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And you know, it was like, okay, now I'm back in familiar territory. You know, where
That's how I felt.
Yeah, it was like, okay, honestly, 2 interceptions, a pick 6. I mean, it was like, here we go again.
I think COVID kind of sucked a little bit of the excitement out for me because I really love to a lot of my excitement, even when I'm watching on TV, comes from the fans.
Right.
Like go back and Google after the show, like Gene Deckerhoff, the Matt Bryant 62-yard field goal, the Michael Spurlock kick return, and you just listen to that crowd roar. It literally gives me chills talking about it.
Yeah.
And there
that
was
moment,
really no fans to really just up the stadium. It kind of sucked, I'll be honest.
What's that moment though for you? Is there a moment from the Super Bowl? I mean, I've got mine.
Man. I think the moment for me for the season was the Devin White interception against Drew Brees.
Okay. My moment is the flash of the deuces.
That definitely. I sat there and I was like, did he really just do that?
That's exactly what I thought.
Like, wait a minute, did he just give up 15 yards? Because now I'm pissed because they just gave him a first
down.
I didn't know exactly. I mean, I wasn't really thinking what the rules were, but I'll even say too the Jamel Dean pick 6 against Rodgers kind of was that moment for me too. They were getting boat raced 10-0. And then that just comes out of nowhere. So
when it happened for me, I mean, like, okay, when they beat Washington in the first playoff game, I expected that.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, and it was close, so I thought, all right, you know, now look at the gauntlet in front.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Breeze, Rodgers, and Mahomes. You know, oh boy. So I'll be honest with you, I was not sitting there with this overwhelming confidence that look at what this team's going to do.
Anyone was against the Saints. They had crushed the Bucs both times.
Right. But then to sit there and when they beat the Saints, it was still, I laughed, but I thought, yeah, okay, there's still Rodgers and Mahomes.
You best believe I went on Twitter and just absolutely trash talked every Saints fan I could find because they are just insufferable.
Yeah, Nick, tell everybody about I love Nick's Twitter. No, you guys need to go follow him on Twitter because he's one of the best trash talkers out there. Tell everybody where to find you.
It's just at Nick Citro. I really just post like Saints fans. I'll bicker back and forth with them. A lot of times I'll post stats like. I posted a Devin White stat, like comparing him to other linebackers. I did it a ton with Levante David to kind of prove that he was in that upper echelon. So really, anytime I just kind of peruse stats, I'll post them there in most articles. But it's a lot of just Bucs talk, really.
Yeah. I mean, you're good. You're a good follow, as they say. I mean, it's something I enjoy an awful lot. It's fun.
That.
Yeah. I don't want to keep you too long because I want to make sure you'll come back. I really do. I want you to come back and not wait a year.
Listen, I came back, I went to hibernation, and then I woke up. I've been asleep this whole time because there's nothing to do between the Super Bowl and the draft.
Right. Well, hopefully you'll be back. I really do. I mean, this is, for those who don't know, and this is a fact, this is not just blowing smoke. I used to tune in to Bucs Report. I used to try to find when Nick would be on.
Oh, stop.
No, this is a fact. I used to try to find out when you would be on because I thought you just had great insight, great, your perspective kind of aligned with mine for the most part. And I got good information from you. So it was great. So I appreciate the fact that you've come by in more ways than you know. And I really do hope you'll come back.
I'll try to be better about coming back. I mean, definitely for the draft. Thursday, Friday. Definitely Thursday and Friday. I don't know about Saturday.
Okay. Well, Tuesday.
The first 3 rounds.
Okay, Tuesday night we have a draft special. If you want to come on Tuesday night, but
down for that.
Okay, Tuesday night we have a draft special. I look forward to seeing you then. And then Thursday I'm flying down to Tampa. I'll be down there for Thursday and Friday.
Jealous.
Yeah, I'll be down there for the draft party Thursday and Friday.
Man. I'm going to be the only one on like remote then.
No, Joshua, the first night's going to actually be on remote from the stadium in the party there.
Okay, that's
So
pretty cool.
yeah,
We got
yeah.
eyes everywhere.
Yep. Yes, we do. Thanks a lot, Nick. You're awesome. I really appreciate it. This is you are seriously one of my favorite people here, and I really hope you'll be around more often.
That. I'll be back.
You got it.
Next week. Promise.
Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate it, Nick.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Have a
for
good
having me
one.
on.
Yep. And speaking of the draft party, let's just bring this guy in here right now. Who's how you doing there? How you doing, Ray?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, I'm down here at Ferg's on a Friday night, and it is a party. I'm so glad. I'm looking forward to next week's draft party. I got people walking around and like, who are you with? I said, I'm with Bucs Report. And you know, the most phenomenal thing, literally the payment, the good stuff is when someone says, oh, I know you guys. I follow Bucs Report. Yeah, Cup of Ray Kennedy, Tampa Bay Ray. And I'm like, yeah, when we're going to be down here having a draft party. Well, I didn't know. So I already got people. I'm starting to pack the place already. They're probably going to have to start giving out tickets for next week's draft party, Rick.
Awesome. That's good to hear. You want a little, let's call it a surprise sneak peek here. By the way, you have a show coming on here. You're doing a pop-up Cup of Ray right after here, correct?
You know, yeah, just a little bit of Friday Night Madness. You know, it's probably going to go to midnight, so we can call it Midnight Madness. I'm trying to compete, of course. Bucs Report followers know we got Johnny B on tomorrow night. He's got his brand new show coming on here on Bucs Report, so he's got Saturday nights covered, and I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. So, you know, let me try to take a swing at it Friday night, but following you is never an easy task, my friend.
Well, yeah, it is. Watch.
No, don't say that.
But yeah, it's kind of fun. But let me show you something here. How about a little sneak? I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You want a sneak peek at the? Here's sort of an advertisement / here's the opener for the draft party.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I was supposed. Yeah, I don't know if I was supposed to show that or not, but you know, hey, I just did.
You have my vote. Yes,
Yeah,
that was great stuff right there.
Hurry up and fire me. You know?
Well, yeah, get down here first though, Rick, because next Thursday, Friday, and we're going to have it covered down here. St. Pete is just what an incredible city. Just a great place to be on a Friday night. And Fergs, I was just telling Johnny Dean, the professor, who'll be on with me tonight on my little Friday night Cup of Ray SH double whatever show. But, used to be a little bowling alley in here where they had bowling, a couple lanes set up, and it was kind of a throwaway room that Coach had. But my kids used to love. Now it's a tap room. They've added on to the back. They've got an axe league on Tuesday nights here. I'm going to be mentioning all the things they have down here at Ferg. So tune in for my show following tonight. And of course, those of you out there that are wanting to join us next week for our draft party, we will be down here and what a great draft. I mean, Bucs are slated to pick at number 32, but this draft, I don't know when's the last time we had a draft that had this much interest.
Fun. Yeah. I said, watch them. Everybody's saying there's going to be all these trades. Watch nothing happen. Watch there be no trades. Everybody just picks. But I got to show you something, Ray.
Go ahead.
I got my cup.
Oh, you got one. Yes.
I got my cup, brother. I got my cup. My Cup of Ray. I got my Cup of Ray cup. And I also got one from the Parrot Army.
I love that parrot, Rick. I love that parrot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty fun. So
yeah, but great show tonight. Thanks for having me on for a quick peek in here. I'm going to go ahead and I'll depart here now, and I'll get ready for the pop up after you tonight. But looking forward to. I'll be talking to you here probably tomorrow, but can't wait till next Thursday night. We can get this draft, get the 2021 season officially underway.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet you last time I was down there, so I got to actually get to meet you in person. I feel like I already have. It was one of those things that hit me today. I'm like, oh, well, I've never met Ray in person, have I? But I've known you so well. What time will you be ready to go?
Actually, just whenever you're done, take your time. 5 minutes after you depart, I'll have the show set up. All right, this is my sound check, so you're here.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little time to do your nice closure, and I'll be going on 5 minutes somewhere right thereafter.
All right, I'll be probably another 10 minutes or so.
I'm looking forward to it, bro. Great show tonight, and we'll talk to you soon, Rick.
Keep a seat warm for me down there, brother.
I got one right here for you.
Hey,
brother.
one more thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Tell everybody where to find you on Cup of Ray normally.
Oh, Sunday mornings at 9. Actually, this week it's going to be, I love it. Oh, I love my graphic. Every time I come on with you now, you're showing me something.
Yeah.
But Sunday mornings, 9 a.m., Cup of Ray is here on Bucs Report. Also on Friday nights when I can get a chance to do a little pop-up. Just trying to bring some of the flavor as we're continuing to, we're all doing that socially responsible thing, but we're getting to a better place. We're victorious over this COVID-19.
Yep.
People are out there having a good time, so I wanted to share it with our Bucs Report followers. Got some great things to share on the show tonight. We're going to have a great time. I'll go ahead, if you don't mind me saying right now, we have the Florida State Fair just opened up yesterday over here in Tampa. We didn't have that last year.
Yep.
And one of the things I want to ask all of our Bucs Report followers tonight to share in the comments is we have followers in Australia, we have followers in Germany, we have Hajen in Germany, we have followers in England and all over
Japan.
Japan. So I want to know what events in their cities that they're looking forward to that are coming back now as we get to that better place. So join us for the show following Bucs Report here on Friday night for a little pop-up Cup of Ray Friday Night Madness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to tell everybody also about the podcast. Ray, you, Joshua, and I just put out a great draft podcast. And Kevin O'Donnell from Fox 13, WTVT Fox 13 there in Tampa was also a guest on there, and it's something that I recommend because Ray and Joshua, that's a pretty power-packed podcast that we had. So thanks a lot for joining me there.
You know, the great part about it is that you, Joshua, and I, we started really talking about, we talked about the scenario where the Bucs trade back or the Bucs trade up. We talked about the type of players, inside, offensive, all the things we talked about. You almost forget that we're doing a podcast and we're just having great conversation.
Yeah.
But we touched on some great things. And of course, the Kevin O'Donnell piece was also great, Rick. Great job on that podcast this week. So if y'all haven't checked it out already, I definitely would. Not because I'm on it, but because Rick did a great job with it.
Well, it's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's on iTunes. It's all over the place. Wherever you listen to your podcast, it's there. Google Podcast, all that.
And I got a special announcement. It's a smoke show down here. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Now, like I said, keep a seat warm for me. All right, brother. All right, brother. Have a great one. Yep, have a good one. All right, that was Ray Kennedy, the best of the Bay. Cup of Ray. I mean, wow. So, talk about a way to start to wind down the show. It doesn't get much better than that. I mean, Nick Citro followed by Ray Kennedy. I'm pretty happy with the way that ended. That's finishing strong. So I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys for being back and everything. And I want you guys to interact more. I really do want you guys to interact more. I want to hear from you more. When I say it's your turn, I really want you guys to pipe up. Come on, guys. Even if you normally don't, maybe you're sitting there going, I kind of want to call, but I don't know. I don't want to make a fool out of myself, or you feel like that. Guys, come on and talk to me. I promise you. Listen, I've sat in I promise you I've been in your chair. I used to call into shows here. I've been in your chair. I know what it's like. And I want to be able to talk with you guys, and I don't want you to be intimidated. I don't want you to be afraid to call in. I don't want any of that. Call in here on the Bucs Report Show, and I promise you it'll be good conversation. I'm looking forward to it. It's something that, to me, you guys are important to me, and the interaction with you guys, both in the chat and when you guys call in or hop on the live stream, that's very, very important. So, yeah, Joshua Cole Allen is mentioning that he got his start by being a caller on Bucs Report. So, listen, guys, there's opportunities. You never know. You never know. But engage. Don't be afraid to engage with us. Don't be afraid to talk to us. Don't be afraid to interact with us. We all appreciate that. All of the hosts here. That's a big deal to all of us. You guys mean a lot. You're kind of part of the reason, really the main reason that we do this. So, we are here on the Bucs Report Show on Mondays and Fridays at 9 p.m. So we will be back on Monday at 9. But in the meantime, guys, tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., What's Cooking in the South? And that is always a very, very good time. And then Sunday night, live from the cheap seats at 8:30. And you talk about things getting off the rails. That's the show where things get off the rails. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. So thanks a lot. And I appreciate you guys. Take care. Don't forget, guys, I'll close it out here one more time with the commercial for What's Cooking in the South. And don't forget, right after this show, a pop-up cup of Ray from Ferg's. Get y'all pumped up about the draft party. Have a great night.